is happening, people. So had to work today, couldn't go turkey hunting. Today's the first week of turkey season, and so far hadn't killed a turkey. But anyway, the purpose of this video today is to go over some of the things you may want or need in your turkey vest. And all of this you see out in front of me is stuff that come out of my vest. Now, I used to carry more than this, but I don't anymore. So I've downsized some of the things that I need. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you need all of these items to go and to kill a turkey, but these are some of the items that I've found that over the years that have benefited me. Now, as I go over these items, if you guys want to see some of these calls in action or how to use them, just comment below and we'll do another video. But for the main purpose of this video, it's just some of the things that you may want in your vest, and we'll go over how to call with some of these. So first and foremost, you need a turkey gun with a good tight pattern. You need some good camouflage. This is my leafy suit that I wear a lot of times, or some good darker colored camouflage. It's a must in the turkey woods. Second thing, some sort of glove, whether they're just jersey cheap gloves or whether they're camouflage, it really doesn't matter, just as long as you can cover the white of your hands. And some form of face mask to cover your face. I actually use this stretchy mask. You'll see this in some of my fishing videos, and it kind of stretches and pulls over my nose and also keeps the pollen out of my nose. So you always want extra shells just in case in your vest, shotgun shells. And this is just a simple pruner, and I keep this because it doesn't matter where you sit down, there's always some sapling that you need to cut. Or if you sit down in the woods and it's really open and you need just add a little camouflage in front of you, you can stand up, get some of the leaves off, clip them, stick them in the ground right in front of you, and kind of break your outline. So this has came in really handy over the years. There's always keep a pair of these. Another thing, I keep these small binoculars in my vest, and they're small enough, they fit in my vest, they don't weigh that much, and I can look out in the field and determine, sometimes a long ways away you can't determine whether it's a hen or gobbler or really what's going on, and these will allow you to do so. So I keep a small pair of binoculars. These shells to the side. A locator call really doesn't matter to me. They've got all sorts of good hoot owl callers. I actually hoot with my mouth, so I don't need that collar. Those little small black Alt hoot owl callers sound very realistic and very authentic and are good calls. And I will say, the closer you are to a turkey, if you have one of those barred owl calls that are really loud, obnoxious, just try to tone it down the closer you get to a turkey. The two primary ones I use is this is an Alt crow call. It's not nearly as loud as, and this is a Quaker Boy crow call, and it is loud, and you can really crank down this thing. And I use this for long distance if I'm trying to get a turkey to shock gobble. But when I get in close and I need to move that last 100 yards or so and I need something realistic, I use this black Alt call. It's much quieter and more realistic. Now when it comes down to calls, there are all sorts of calls that kill turkeys every year. And I'm not going to say that you should use one call or another. But I will say that you need to be able to call with at least 2 different calls. And you need to be proficient. And one of those calls needs to be a mouth diaphragm. I think this is H&S Strut. This is a Mill Creek. There's all sorts out on the market, not all made the same. So if you are a beginner turkey hunter, you can get a simple 2 or 3 reed, just straight reed call, and it doesn't take as much air for you to blow that call, and you can make some really good clucks and yelps, and you don't necessarily have to be able to do all of that fancy stuff. And I'm going to tell you why. So the main reason, when a turkey gets in close, your hands should be on your gun and you're on point, ready to take a shot, unless you're hunting with a partner and he's out front or beside of you. When you do that, you can't reach down and pick a box call up or squawk on your call, and I know some people lay it down beside of them and pick up a slating pig, and you know, they don't really sometimes make the most realistic sound. If this is in your mouth, you can make a really light cluck. It doesn't have to be much, and it doesn't have to be perfect to pull that turkey in that last little bit. That's one of the most important things that I can tell you. So, get you a mouth diaphragm, and there's one thing I'm going to show you on this. I'll use this one. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm kind of partial to the one with the 3-reed with the bat wing. I like that one personally, but anyway, always. And that reed, whether it's got a V cut in it, a split, a bat wing, or whatever it is, that must be loose. Now see, this one has stuck. And many times when you put it in your mouth, it gets wet. Usually first thing in the morning before the sun even comes up, I put it in my mouth. I get it nice and moist. I take it out and I make sure that that top reed is loose and pliable, simply because it has to vibrate to make the realistic noise. So just remember that in your mouth diaphragms. Now, these diaphragms I've had last year. Some people buy new ones every year. Hey, that's okay. I kept these from last year. They were all stuck. Soak them in water overnight. Take them out. Take a toothpick. Be very careful not to break the latex, and just work them back out, and usually you can get a second year out of them. And some of them I've had 3 years. But so, second thing, let's talk about box calls. Now this is my box call I have had since I was 16 years old, and it was given to me by my grandfather. It has a Lynch top and a joiner box, and here's the sister to it. And the joiner top is on this one, and the Lynch box is on that one. And my grandfather switched them years ago, probably back in the early 70s, and he just liked the way the sound did. And so my grandfather passed away. He gave me this one. I don't even hunt with this one. It's got too much sentimental value. And so I keep this one put up. But this is mine, and you can tell, I don't know if you can see it, but this side is, they used to make them where one was coarse, it sounded like a gobbler. See how that's arched? And then the hen would be on this side. See how flat that is? That's how much I've used this box over the years. And a box call makes a really realistic turkey sound, a yelp. And I have killed a lot of turkeys using a box call. Now, not all box calls are the same. You've got some big retail store box calls that are out there that are just doesn't sound good. I would suggest you just get online and find someone who makes turkey calls. And I personally would prefer to be able to pick a turkey call up and actually use it. There's certain characteristics and tones that I want out of my calls that I have over the years just, that's what I want. And a lot of, this is a newer call. This was given to me, and I think this one is made by Sam Poe. I never heard of him. I think he was at one of the Dixie Deer Classics here in North Carolina. But this one, it sounds better on the left side. That's kind of opposite for me, so I kind of have to yelp this left-handed. And high-pitched sound compared to now you'll see guys have these box calls upside down. Doesn't matter to me how you learn to do it. I learned to hold the box in my hand. This is the way this one's designed. Each one may be designed a little differently. Honestly, I think this call is designed to be held, the paddle is held in your hand and you actually move the box. Now I hadn't mastered this box because I hadn't been practicing with it because I don't really need to carry an extra box, but this one's getting to the point it's going to have to be replaced. So I basically hold the box in the hand here and you'll find a sweet spot. Hear that? That's way out there. So I can close it in close. And you'll learn to arc your hand. I mean, that's sweet. Cut. Now, if you've mastered the mouth diaphragm and you've got this box, and I've killed a lot of turkeys, called them in, dual calling. I start out by cutting, and I really won't get into a lot of sequences and calling and all. This is just basic stuff for you guys that just started turkey hunting or may want to see what another turkey hunter has in their box. But if you comment, I'll go over some of these other calls and we'll talk about some of the methods and how to call with them and how to hold them. A lot of it's just how you hold a call. So a good box call is always good to have. Look around and be satisfied with what you buy. And the next comes a slate and peg. Now this is a Nightingale slate and peg. I think I bought this at Bass Pro 15 years ago. And there was a table of 40 slate and pegs. I bet I picked every one of them up 3 times. I picked up strikers, and I finally found a combination that I liked. And this slate, both are double slates. I like double slate over glass, just me personally. And this is a homemade one. It was made by Chandler's Turkey Calls, and I've probably had that 15 years. Now, double slate will sound similar, and I hold my slate in the palm of my hand, just like that. And that hand creates a cup. And I'm going to show you the difference in your strikers. And you say, why you got 3 strikers? Because each one of these strikers will make this call sound differently. And I think this is a hickory. So I'm just going to yelp really softly. That's all I'm going to do. That's with the hickory. I think this is rosewood. Similar but a little different. And this is an old corn cob turkey bone collar that a friend of mine made for me. Just a little bit difference in the tone in all of them. Now, by holding this collar tighter, I can get a different sound out of it. Or I can hold it like this. Now see, to me that don't sound as good as this. Now, this call will be the same way. Now, I'm not going to go through and show you how to call with all these. That's not what we're doing here in the video. So if you got a box call or some type of plunger call, you'll need, this is my little box of chalk right there. I just keep in my vest pocket, and that way it's ready to take out a little piece. And I usually every morning put a little chalk on my box call. Helps with the friction, make it a little bit smoother. And you'll also need some type of sandpaper, rough, 120 to 150 grit, and you have to keep your call roughed, and that creates the friction for the striker to create a noise. So I think that is everything that you may want in your vest. Now I know that there's folks out there, and I've hunted with them. They've got 2 box calls, they've got 4 slate and pegs, they got 15 mouth diaphragms, all sorts of hoot owl callers, but that's okay. If they want that many calls, more power to them. So the reason for multiple calls is if I go in one morning and I'm working a bird with this box call, and I work with him, and for whatever reason he hangs up and he don't make the final commitment to come in, and I go in the next morning, or maybe even the day after, and I get on that same bird, and I'm pretty sure it's the same bird, I'm gonna more than likely change calls on him, because I don't want him to hear the same call each time. Now, it may work in some circumstances, but not always. But I want him to be able to hear a different call. And it allows me to dual call too. And I have seen the times I have yelped with the box, yelped with the mouth diaphragm, pull out the old slate and peg, wrap down on that, boom, turkey gobbles. For whatever reason. All these calls sound different to a turkey. And turkey voices is like human voices. They're all different just a little bit. I've actually heard turkeys calling in the wild that sounded like a slate and peg yelping. I've heard them yelping and it sounds like a mouth diaphragm. I've heard them yelping and it sounds like a box call. So that's why all of these calls work. So, and I guess the second most important thing that I can relay to you as a turkey hunter is to practice with your call to get efficient and be confident in your calling. That's a big thing, to be confident. A lot of people that I hunt with, if I'm there, they don't want to call because they don't feel as confident. I feel very confident in my calling, and because I enjoy calling, I enjoy interacting with a turkey. That's the challenge for me, not just to shoot the turkey, but to actually interact with the turkey and to apply my calling methods to the turkey, because that's a challenge, to get him, to fool him to come up there. But anyway, hey guys, I'm going to end this video. Like I said, we're early in turkey season, and if you want to see some of these calls used, I'm not sure if we're out hunting I'll be able to blend this in, because you know, you're having to move on a turkey and be really still, and you can't talk to the camera. So I'll try to film some of the activity and using some of these calls while we're in the field. A lot of times my concentration is on what that bird is doing. Now, I'm going to come out with another video here soon, and we're going to talk about some of the aspects of what you should be doing when a turkey does a certain thing. And anyway, the last note I'm going to leave you, this is first week of turkey season, so hey, I hope you guys are fortunate to kill a turkey. And one of the best points that I can give you is don't call too much to a turkey on the roost. If you call into him a lot and he's on the roost, he'll just sit there and wait for the hen to come to him. That's probably the number one mistake all turkey hunters make. So, that being said, hey guys, you remember, it's a wild life, and I'll see you in the field.